Hi student, the class is starting. You should go to our today's topic. And the topic that is the chapter 6. And for the 6-8. Here this is for the unsupervised learning. I will teach the clustering. I use the k-means to automatically cluster the zoo animal data. And you know that here the objective of this example is an unsupervised clustering problem. How can we evaluate the accuracy the clustering model after automatically clustering? And first, the method that I should input the matrix, I use the accuracy score. Use this function to evaluate the model's accuracy. And the first difficulty that is the index order of y real and y predict corresponding to different people's labels. And the label numbers are different. So the model's accuracy cannot be evaluated. That means the number of y real and y predict are quite different. So that is hard to compare both of that and hard to calculate the accuracy score. So I must transfer from the y predict into the same number with the y real, and then I can to calculate that accuracy score. And the second difficulty that is when performance clustering prediction. The predicted label index is not the same as original data label index. And how can we convert it back to the y real? For example, the model predict for this, the result is 1, which is incorrect because the correct answer is 0. Why? That is because the data's label index are quite, for the original data are quite different with your predict 1. So now first I should to connect to the Google server and then I just to import the data set. The data set is to load the iris flower data set. This is for iris flower, and I load the data for this. But you know that after I do this, I should to convert this 品种 into the number because that is a text label. But for the AI's calculation, we should convert all the text into the number. So then, how could I convert the target label into numerical value? So I use the label for this label encoder line. So okay, so I here that my DF is the value like this, and now I want to convert this 品种 into 品种值 for the number. And before I do that, I should and for the label encoder, that is the data preprocessing, and I call this as PREP. Inside the PREP let I have a label encoder line, label encoder. okay, here. And you know, for the label encoder, I should input the data, but you know here there's no parameter, so I must to use another one. Is fit transform. This one that I can input the data for the y, and now I want to use the df 品种, and I transfer this into another one called 品种值, and then after I do this, I output all of the data frame for this, transfer this into 品种值, and then I should to and here that I do not need to split the data into the train and the test. Why? That's because this is the clustering problem. That is unsupervised problem. So the data that the data all of this is my train data. But you know that I do not need the 品种. I only need this one is my train data, and this is my this is S train and Y train, right? So we have this and this. So I just to execute the command of this and execute the command of the df 品种值. So you must know S train is this, and the D and the Y real is this value. And then I should do the exercise 2 for the fourth step of the clustering problem. First is build a mathematical model that is k-means automatical clustering model. So for the k-mean, that here this is the k-mean. Here is just inside the folder of cluster. Let I call this as CLS. Inside the CLS, I find an algorithm means k-mean. For the k-mean, that I should to tell him that my model can just to deal with the problem of the three categories problem. So my classification, we have three kinds of classification. The random state can just to fix the prediction number of my label. So I can give the model any kinds of number, and then it will fix the answer. So after I execute this command, and then after my model has created, then I can just to use it to fit the data, include okay. So now because that T train is like here, right? This is my T train, and I want to use this as a train data to let him read the data and to just to make a judgment to identify. Inside here we have three kinds of the label, three kinds of classification. So I use the model to fit to learn the data. Data is for the S-train. And then after I do this, I just to print out the clustering label. So now this model have learned the data of S-train. So he can just to predict three kinds of classification. So I just let it to output his prediction. The model's label that is his prediction, like here. Okay, prediction label 1, label 2, and the label 0. Okay. This model labeled letter is predicted by the AI model, but you should understand for my real, here this is my real index of the 品种值, but you should, but you pay attention that you have you can find that for the false sample, my prediction number is 1, but for the real data y 品种值, the first one is 0. So that's because that the number that is automatically be set up by the model. So now I should transfer this 1 to 0. And finally this is 2, right? And finally this is 2 for the 2 to the same. So it's observed that the label numbering style of actual y real versus predicted models labels is different. However, the goal is to compute accuracy. This is my goal, is to find the answer like this. Okay, let me show to check that. I must to make a correct modified of the style of my lecture. You can see here that for this one, the model one, right? Automatically labeled. Okay. However, I must to get this text to the uppercase of that. So that's accurate model scope. Okay, put this, therefore it's observed that the model labels numeric numbering styles of actual y real versus predicted model labels is different. However, the goal is to compute accuracy. This is compute accuracy, but I should to input the value of y true and the y predict, right? Therefore, the y true and the y predict must follow the same number label numbering order, so that the accuracy calculation is correct. So you must understand one thing, that is, if you do this, don't forget you should have the same numbering for the label. Here it is that I should to do a multiplication, you know. So the method is that so here that I will introduce the mapping relationship is echoes one echoes here. Relationship is just like here. It's 1 or 2 to the predict 1 2 or okay. Let us to check the number. The real number is 0. That should be the 1. 0 should be the 1. The number of the rest is 2, right? The 2 must be the 2 that must be 0. You see? 2, 2, 2, 2. This answer is not correct, but the 2 is almost the 2. So, for the number of 2 to 0, so, and for the number 1, inside here 1 to the 2, inside is a 2. So here that it's observed that the label numbering style of actual value versus predicts model's label is different. So the method, the mapping relationship is this is the mapping from the 0 1 2 to the 1 2 0, just like here 1 2 0. So if I want to reverse, since that here now I could get the data of predict model dot label. I have known the predict number. I want to transfer reverse mapping to the actual number. So the conversion rule, the first one, that is model label. The model label contain 0 convert to, okay, for the model label, this is 0, it will convert to 2. For the model predict 1, will convert to 0. Convert to 0. For the 2, predict 2, will convert to the 1. So we make a conclusion. For the model starter labels must be converted using the mapping 2201 to convert it back to the original actual one. So how Python perform the value mapping? The mapping of the command is use the numpy choose. You will choose, okay, this is my predict. I have known this. I want to convert to the real one. Here is the convert parameter. Because that here will convert of here 201 201 is means here 201. It will convert to the 012. So inside here that I must use numpy, import numpy. Inside numpy I have the choose function, and I give it the model label. That is my predict number, and For the transform matrix, that is 2 or 1. So then I can get the y predict. But this is y predict. This is also the y predict. But the y predict, this is the other's number formatting. So we have two number predict. But here this label is some kinds of number style. And this is the other number style. So this y predict is not found as y. It is generated from the automatic clustering result. From the result convert to the model labels. So you see here that I have created of this y predict here. So the first one is 0, the second one is okay, here is 2, 0 and 2. So I check the original one, 0 and 2, right? Okay, here is 0 and 1, 0 and 2. I transfer the letter this 0 and 2. So I have already transferred 0 and 2. And I just to input my real number is here compared to this one, quite the same numbered. So for the step 3 that I want to perform prediction, you must to perform automatic clustering to group the iris flower species. So you must to verify the first record of this, and this you can see the answer is quite like the 0. This is one kind of space, flower space. The real one that is 0. So the incorrect usage is why is this answer wrong? The answer of this is not correct. And I use the model to do the predict one, like here. He will give you the array 1. But that here it has already tell you the answer that is 0. So here that I output of here this is not quite correct. The first one we have seen that is 0, but he tell you okay, 0 is correct, right? But here is that he tell you the answer is 1. And we have known that this is wrong. The answer is wrong. The answer that is the 0. So how could I do this? So here the reason is that the predict label 1 predict label 1. He tell you that he must be converted into its corresponding maple label. So I just to use this convert to the real one. The answer, okay. Here this is the not correct one, right? So I just to use this. NP is not defined. That is because that I must to import the numpy as NP, and he will tell you the answer is like this. Okay, 0 and 2. So I will verify another record that is like this. He tell you the answer. This one, the record is 0. So here that I just to output of here. Okay, NP choice that this is my models predict, and I transfer the data, predict data, into the real data. I use NP choice. But you know that if I just to do this, you see that the answer is not very correct. Okay, we still have another one like here. Okay, he have something that you need to verify. Okay, he tell you that this one, the answer is 1, is 0. So let me check the answer is correct, right? Okay, this is correct, 0. And then this is the second verified problem exercise. For this flowers data, we can know that that is the second kind of space. And so I also you need to correct the mapping method. Use the NP choice for this and transfer to this. Okay. And here this is the incorrect usage. For data like this, and I use this to do the prediction. And here this is correct usage. And I also to transfer this predict data, and he will give you a 0 or 1, right? And he will convert to the original one, real data. But you know, because that you want to transfer, you must tell him the transfer coefficient or transfers parameter is this, and then you can get a 2. Or let us check this data flower. His space is 2. Okay, that is correct. And you know here that we have predicted this one, and this one we do not know the mapping label corresponding label is what we do not know. And the incorrect method that is used, you use this to do the predict. And why this is not correct? Because this one is the model predicted, the label that he do the numbering by the AI model. But you note here this one is the original numbering. Both of this is quite different. So I should convert this one to the original numbering. I use the NP choice, and then I can understand this data when it convert to the original one. He can get the number is just like the diesel. And then we have the exercise 3, quantitative evaluation of the model using 3 steps. The first one is the overall accuracy. Okay, and here that we also know we have the incorrect method and okay, that here this is incorrect method, and here that okay, and here we have explained the okay. The incorrect method that is use the model score. Inside the score, we shoot to the x and y, right? So here that we have the y trend data, and but you know we do not have the y trend data, right? Maybe you will see, okay, that is a y real. But for this, that you will find that the answer is not correct. You know. So for the second method, that you use the accuracy score, this function. Okay, let us to show this method. I use the import scikit-learn. Inside this, we have the matrix. We call this is MTS. Inside MTS, I want to find whether that I have the accuracy score, the first one. And for this function, I should input two parameter. The first one is y real. The second one, that is y predicted. Y predicted. And how could I know the y predicted? The y predicted, that is I use the models predict. Could I use this predict? Okay, I can use this predict. Predict that I just to input the y trend data. He used this to do the predict. But this label is not the same, so I must to do the sampling. And because that you know the sampling, that is you must import numpy as np, and you know np we have the choice. For this function here that I use the array. I must to use the number of choice, like just like here, number of choice. Okay, number choice for the model's prediction, and we have the transform is 2, 0, 1. Okay, so let me to execute the command just like here. He's do this, and the prediction data is y predict, and I want to transfer over this into the 2, 0, 1, and then you can find here is my okay, and after I do over this, that is y predict 2, and I give this tool to make a score for this data. The answer must be just like this. Okay, the answer is correct, right? Alright. Okay, student, now you have the 5 minutes to practice of this.